Before this video begins, I do want to say I haven't made a lot of videos recently and I'm trying to get back into the groove. If you guys have any critiques for the video or any critiques for the drawing itself, please throw them my way in the comments. I love to hear critiques about how I can improve whether my editing or my drawing. I love both. Regardless, if you do like the video as well, please subscribe or leave a like. And with that all out of the way, let's start the video. Okay, so last video we took a Roblox OC model and we decided to draw in our own style using a slightly different coloring technique where before I would do the line work after the sketching phase and then color within that line, kind of using it as a boundary like a coloring book. But instead of doing that, I decided to just jump right into coloring, kind of like a painterly style, doing large shapes and then slowly taking away from those shapes, adding to it, shading, coloring, and just going from there off the bat. But this time I decided to pick another OC from the pile of submissions that I have and try to draw it. This video is not that. For some reason, halfway through, I decided to just throw that out the window, and I want to kind of explain my thought process through this drawing. All right, so here's the OC. This is what we were trying to draw. We're still going to do this drawing, but later on down the line, because for some reason, I guess halfway through the night, I went from thinking from the top of my head to the head on the lower half. So we have a Jenna drawing again. Once again, I love drawing this OC a lot, and for some reason, we always end up falling back to this pose where she's kind of sitting with her legs open and kind of in a seductive pose. Once again, wrong head. And I don't know why, but I like this pose a lot. Maybe not because it's like seductive or anything, but because I think it just has a little bit of everything. There's a lot of curvature to the pose. There's a lot of foreshortening to the pose. There's a little bit of foreshortening to the pose. And I think it's also just hard enough where it gives me a challenge, but easy enough where it isn't some crazy foreshortening pose that I will struggle with for a long period of time. But to begin, I chose this picture because it looks a lot like a tokusatsu character where the suit gave a lot of feelings kind of like Ultraman, if you ever watch Ultraman, or if you're more of a Gridman guy. I feel like I grew up more of Gridman. I prefer Gridman over Ultraman because I think the suit looks a little bit cooler. But besides that, it gives me a lot of tokusatsu, very spandexy, latexy type of suits, very close to the skin. And I thought it'd be really cool to draw this character since I kind of think a long hair, red hair, dark-eyed character would be really sick if I drew in my own style. And I thought it'd just be a really fun idea to do this. But because the suit is so skin tight, I didn't do much planning for the suit. Actually, if you watch the sketch behind you, the sketch doesn't have a blue phase. So my steps when I usually draw is red for the body, blue for the clothing, and then line art and then color. I skipped the blue phase because since it was so close to the skin, I thought I would just draw over the skin and kind of improv it, right? But when I started actually lining it, when I started getting to it, I realized that didn't really work out. For some reason, my brain couldn't come up with skin tight clothing. And as I continued to look at the original drawing, I realized there were certain parts that I wanted to pop out a little bit more, dangle off a little bit more, have a little bit more 3D to it, still really close to the skin, but not have it so close where it just looks like a giant onesie. And I just wanted some form to it. I wanted some cool form to it that would make it pop a little bit more, and that would have required planning. So I didn't continue with this OC exactly the way I wanted to because of my poor planning and my overconfidence in being able to draw the skin tight spandex Power Ranger suit just off the cuff. And eventually I realized, hey, I do this pose a lot, and I've actually done this pose many a times. Here's some examples. Let's just make it another lewd-ish drawing. It was like 6 in the morning. I want to get it over with. And I was also kind of going for this more manga vibe anyway. And I thought, it's late. Let's not even color. Let's just do a normal black and white drawing and call it a night. So here we are drawing Jenna again with the OC. The hair is close enough, not necessarily exactly how I usually draw her hair, but close enough where one side is longer, one side is slightly shorter, but still till around neck level. And we're gonna just draw her in her sleepwear. I feel like recently I've gotten better at drawing her in clothing that isn't as lewd or as seductive. I've drawn her more like a baseball outfit, which was a drawing that I did a little while back. And so I guess I decided to just give myself a bone here and just draw her in a long, large, flowy t-shirt and underwear. So that's it. That's what the drawing ended up being today. I kind of gave up. But I do hope on drawing this soon. This person's drawing, I think the idea is super cool. I think drawing a large tokusatsu as women would be really dope. I do have to ask the person what exactly this is, and I want a little bit more detail and such as their intention on certain parts, if they want it to pop out a little bit more. But once I get all that down, I'll definitely go right back and with my full 100% focus, do the correct planning, do the correct sketching, do the correct clothing sketching, and not get overconfident just because it's a skin tight suit, and truly portray this as if this was one of my OCs. Because honestly, if you guys are submitting your OCs to me, I might as well give it 100% my attention and 100% my effort. So thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot for my rambling. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to just talk about it and kind of just see how I ended up doing this pose again. But besides that, thank you for listening. Have a good, wonderful day and take good care. Bye bye.